When we take our eyes off the ball, it's truly time for things that need to be said.
Inflation is made in Washington because only Washington can create money. And any other attribution to other groups of inflation is wrong. Consumers don't produce it. Producers don't produce it. The trade unions don't produce it. Foreign sheiks don't produce it. Oil imports don't produce it. What produces it is too much government spending and too much government creation of money and nothing else.
Hey everybody, your resident man in black is back again for a new edition of the best kept secret in the conservative movement right here on MRC TV. I'm Nick Kangadis. Really quick, head on over to Rumble, subscribe to our channel, and hit that like button. And no matter where you watch our videos, please share, like, and don't be afraid to leave a comment. I actually read what you guys have to say, and I occasionally respond, so don't be shy. Now, on with the show. All right, look. I don't mean to be all gloom and doom, but I recently read a Facebook post by political commentator, documentarian, and former Newsmax host Dennis Michael Lynch that painted such a dark portrait of the country's financial future and present, based in such a ridiculous amount of logic that the establishment media and our government would call him a crackpot for having eyes and seeing what anyone doing a modicum of research could figure out.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist.
So I decided to put together some clips of recent assessments of different aspects of our economy to better illustrate to all of you just how dire of a situation our leaders have put us in. It's almost as if they're trying to devalue this country while lining their own pockets, all at our expense, by making us poor and further subservient. You know how I know that the establishment elite are in their let them eat cake mode? Exhibit A.
We have an economy that's stronger than ever. I've said it before, but one of the most conservative columnists, Gerard Baker, said the U.S. economy was the big winner in 2023.
We need an economic explainer. People are confused, they're exhausted, but they're also doing quite well.
Yeah, and you're ugly.
The economists right now, as of yesterday, most economists fear the most in the future. And it's two things. One, that China's economy is weakening too quickly, and that will have impact on exports, imports. And two, that the United States economy is too strong. Not making this up. China's is too weak, America's is too strong, and they're afraid it's going to keep growing so fast that we're going to have inflation again because it's so robust.
Every week, a new thing happens, and it will, by the year from now, people will know. They will know the economy is strong. You know, Joe, you mentioned the economy is strong, but it's often a lagging indicator. People still remember 6-8 months ago where things are at, but by next summer, they won't. They will see just the things that you have, and the economy will be a strong suit for us.
Honestly, the economy is strong. Inflation has been cooling. It gives the Fed kind of a moment to sit here and decide, sit on its hands really, and decide. We want to make sure that inflation doesn't come back. But you also want to make sure the economy is not too strong, and then you're cutting, and then you spin up inflation again, you know?
What the are you talking about, man?
What's data got to do with it? Look at the numbers, and Bidenomics is working. Look at the polls, and the president is struggling to get voters' hearts to listen to the evidence that the economy is strong.
Bullshit.
We also have a strong economy. I think that is making it very difficult for Republicans to figure out what exactly they're running against and what they're running for.
Well, one of us needs to settle down.
You put all this together, it paints the picture of a strong economy, a strong jobs market. It should go a long way towards quieting those recession fears. I mean, an economy adding 300,000 jobs in 1 month is nowhere near a recession. Think of anything, though, the question is this economy and is the jobs market too strong from the perspective of the Federal Reserve and their quest to get inflation under control?
But today, the Fed seems very optimistic we're going to continue to have a strong economy. The Fed actually raised its economic projections for next year, which means that the Fed is basically taking off the table the possibility of a recession.
serious?
And you know how I know these people in Washington that I just detest with all my heart hate us? Well, there's this windbag who actually believes his own lies.
Cure the economy and the environment and a few other small things.
Here's just a few people whose intelligence I actually respect, sounding the alarm and explaining our current situation, much like Lynch did. Credit card debt.
Recent data from the New York Fed revealed that household debt increased by a staggering $184 billion in the last quarter alone, driven primarily by rising mortgage balances as interest rates soar. If we could manage this enormous debt, it wouldn't be a major concern. However, new data shows we cannot, and a significant wave of delinquencies is on the horizon. The proportion of credit card balances in serious delinquency has climbed to its highest point since the Great Recession.
Housing.
Very, very simple. Interest rates went up. Remember all of 2022, Jerome Powell was upstairs pounding the cheerleader. And the interest rates were up. Remember, we came back to that. Yep. The interest rates went way up, and people didn't want to sell their home in New Jersey to move to Florida because when they get down to Florida, they had to get a much more expensive mortgage, so they don't sell their home. Boom. So that caused supply to be low. So the people that did have the money and the credit and the capability to buy, including Florida, where you had, I believe it was 24% cash buyers, they end up causing the prices to go up because there's two people bidding for the few homes for sale. So now the homes are up. So when someone goes to buy it, it's a more expensive payment. But now the interest rates were over 7%. Now it's a more expensive payment on top of that.
Inflation.
Prices are going up because there is an additional quantity of money asking, searching for a not increased quantity of commodities. And the newspapers or the theorists call the higher prices inflation. But the inflation is not the higher prices. The inflation is the new money pumped into the market. It is this new money that then inflates the prices.
Inflation.
It was in April of 2021. Suddenly the core CPI explodes higher with the American Rescue Plan. That $1,400 per person bribe that the government gave us in April of 2021. That's when the core CPI starts to go up. Against the background of the pandemic, where supply was exceptionally restricted, that increase in demand in such a short period of time meant that the only way that small E economics could reconcile those two differences was in the form of rapid price increases, not just in the certain commodities, but across the entire consumer price experience.
Inflation.
Let's say prices should have gone down by 3%, and instead they go up by 2%. That's 5% inflation, in that my cost of living is 5% higher than it would have been had you not had the inflation. And again, if you think about inflation as a tax, when the government taxes you legitimately, let's say through a sales tax or an income tax, whatever, the government takes your money. Money that you had goes to the government, and then the government takes that money and gives it to somebody else, right? You lose your money. But when they tax you through inflation, they don't take any of your money. You get to keep your money, but they print new money and they give that money to somebody else. Now, when that somebody else spends that money that he didn't earn, it drives up your prices. So now you pay more. So the government didn't take your money, they took your purchasing power.
World recession.
I really do worry right now that we're headed towards a recession. All the indicators are there. And people that are much better at economics than me, they're all sounding the warning sirens at the moment. It seems like things are on the brink right now. You've got socio-political crisis. You've had an attempted presidential assassination. You've had a huge shakeup in the Dem Party. You have the Japanese stock market collapsing. You have Amazon collapsing at the moment. You have the Dow Jones down by, 5 points or something like that. It does look a little bit like a Black Monday scenario.
Are you getting it yet? Do I have to spell it out for you? I'm doing what I do as my part. I put all this together not to be right or inflate my own ego, but to arm all of you who have been so loyal to me over the years with the things you need to know. I actually care. And that's not some pitch to you to enrich myself. Lord knows rich is not a word I would use to describe myself. These are things you need to know. And for those people that would tell you otherwise just because you don't fall in line with their brainwashing,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Just do what you can for yourselves and your family while trying to be charitable to others who deserve it when finances allow it. We're in dangerous times, my friends, and none of us like it. It's simply the truth. So, is the Fed gonna come after me? Will the thieves at the IRS give me a hard time?
Sue me for what?
Or were these things that needed to be said? Let me know in the comments, where I do read most and reply to some. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Rumble and hit that like button. If you like this video, don't forget to share, comment, and give it a thumbs up. Those are the best ways to help these videos reach more people, and it's the best way to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video if they haven't censored it or taken it down yet. Like us on Facebook, check out more of our work at MRCTV.org, and if you want to support our content and the conservative movement, head on over to MRC.org/donate to help us out, since we're a nonprofit and couldn't do what we do without all of you. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.